Yeah, guys, awesome. Nice you have tuned in again. Today we're going to look at two-way radios from the company Baofeng. Maybe you still remember the old Baofeng BF-88s, but today I have a special version of these radios, the Baofeng BF-88e, and those are PMR 446 radios. And maybe you can notice this already, the designator E probably means Europe. So that's what we're going to look at, a European version of the Baofeng 888S, because that seems to be a big thing. At least I know from my case in Germany, these Baofeng radios, they were just imported from China and sold on eBay and Amazon, and people were buying them, and the sellers would always say, oh, this is a walkie-talkie, you can use it, no problem. But unfortunately, the European authorities usually don't tend to think so. If you transmit on the wrong frequencies with the wrong output power, that may lead to some fines. So finally, the manufacturers seem to have realized that, because as you can see here, PMR 446 has the 0.5 watt output power. And guys, I'm just gonna unbox these. You can see the navigation below in the video, and then after the unboxing part 2, we're gonna do the range test. And also a viewer recently suggested, why don't I do the range test both in feet and miles as well as add in the metric system? Because usually if I do the review in German, I always use kilometers, and as soon as I switch over to English, I'm always using feet and miles. But obviously there are a lot of other countries where people also may watch my videos and they watch the English video, but they want the kilometer metric system as well in the range test. So I'm going to include both, so you will be able to see that in the side card. Maybe I can show this to you here, the way that's how it's going to look. And yeah, guys, this concludes the introduction. One last thing, you can also head over to my channel page if you want. I can show this to you here, and look in the ham radio section, or radio section I should better say, and there you can find a bunch of other reviews of other manufacturers such as Motorola and the like, and that enables you to compare a bunch of radios. Although I have to admit, up to now I did mostly walkie-talkies and PMR gear. So if you're a die-hard amateur radio guy, you might not find that many videos specifically tailored to people who have the ham radio license. But maybe I can change that in the future as well. So without further ado, guys, let's jump to the unboxing and then to the range test. Awesome, you have tuned in. Let's get started. So guys, then let's have a quick look at the Baofeng two-way radios. And yeah, I mean, this is really the version that's for Europe, so you want to pay attention to this, depending on which country you are, that you get the right version for your country. And as I can see here, I think they still have the old manual. So it says Baofeng BF-88S, but obviously it's not the 888S, as I have shown you on the package. So it still comes with an old manual, but the main difference is that these radios have, for example, a fixed antenna, and besides the 0.5, the mandatory 0.5 watt output power limitation, I mean, I guess these radios probably could transmit at a higher output power, maybe 1 or 2 watts. Probably you can also reprogram them here with the USB programming cable. I'm not going to show this to you because technically it's not allowed in most countries, but I just want to mention this because basically that's just all the manufacturer did. It made a non-removable antenna and programmed it on the correct PMR frequencies for Europe, and then you can see it's the BF-88e, and that's a very big difference for you if you just want to use this casually without a ham radio license in Europe. As comparison, the previous version of the radios, they looked almost identical. And as you can see here, there it was easily, the antenna was not fixed, so you could just swap out the stock antenna against the more powerful one, such as this. So basically the antenna was swappable, and then the output power also was higher, and it was programmed on totally different frequencies. So this might have been programmed on frequencies that are used in the United States. So obviously you cannot use this with a higher output power in Europe. And like I just said, the antenna with PMR 446 has to be fixed. So other than that, there probably aren't that many changes. So maybe let's take these radios out. Maybe I can show you the charging dock. Ah yeah, that's something I forgot. As you can see here, the new charging stations, they come with USB. So basically you will need 2 USB chargers to charge up your radios, because also that was the difference with the old radios. You had the standard, you had a power plug that goes directly into the power outlet, and some people have criticized, oh my god, there are 240 volts on this and the wire is just so thin. So I would guess from a safety standpoint, USB is also safer there. You have 2 headsets. I never use those. I'm fine with the radios themselves, and 2 hand straps. Guys, I hope I pronounced this right. So you can put a hand strap on here, carry it around, and obviously the belt clips. You just remove 2 of the screws and then you can put the belt clip on as well. But what I'm quickly going to show you before charging those up, this is the battery pack. It says it's a lithium-ion battery pack with 1500 milliamp hours. So let's quickly slide this in right here. That's also the first time I bought these radios. One of these pins was like pushed in. It didn't come out correctly, so you may want to inspect that these pins come out correctly. They have like a contact point up here. So let's slide this right in, and that's your radio. You can lock it and unlock it down here, push to talk. And then what I really like about these simpler style radios, they don't have a display, so you can regulate everything with these knobs up here: volume control, channel control, and it acoustically says to you on which channel they are on. So guys, let's charge those up in a docking station, charge them for a couple hours, and then let's go outside and do the range test, because that's simply all there is to those radios, and I don't want to draw this unboxing out too long. So as you've seen, basically it's the same than the predecessor, just with antenna modification, different charging connectors, and lower output power. So let's charge them up. Now guys, I set up the charging bench, and yeah, this is like a little bit of a downside. You need 2 USB chargers. Not sure whether you have something like this at home. If not, please make sure, because that's definitely nice to have the chargers here. I have like for my audio recorder and from my car navigation system. So let's turn on the power here, and then you see a green indicator light comes on. And we quickly put the radios in the docking station, and you see the color changes to red. And let's do the same here. And both of these radios should be charging right now. And guys, yeah, I'm gonna charge those up. Here I still have for you the programming cable. I'm not gonna show this to you right now. I can link it below the video. Lots of manufacturers offer these programming cables, and a lot of radios actually can be reprogrammed to different frequencies. The output power can be changed, higher, lower, and so on as well. Quite a few radios also have a very basic scrambler function. No encryption or something like this, but a basic scrambler. But obviously make always sure to observe the local laws and regulations in your country. I think I'm going to make another video on programming radios as well, just so that you can learn a little bit about what's happening inside these radios, because from the outside you usually don't see that. So that might be actually also very interesting. Those radios are going to charge right now, and maybe I'm going to do the range test today or maybe tomorrow, depending on how long this takes until they are full. So let's jump to the range test. Let's go.
Range test of the Baofeng BF-88e. Test point number 1, about 420 feet. 420 feet should be loud and clear. Test point number 1 of the Baofeng two-way radio. Range test again of the Baofeng radio with test point number 2, about 790 feet. And guys, you should also see the metric system, not just the US in the side card over there. Test point number 2 with 790 feet, and the quality should be still very good. Test point number 2. Range test of the Baofeng two-way radio. Distance test number 3, and should be still loud and clear. with 1,250 feet of distance. 1,250 feet of distance. Test point number 3. So guys, we reached test point number 4, and I'm kind of curious how the sound quality develops of this Baofeng radio the further I go away. Test point number 4 with approximately 1,540 feet, and again you should see the metric in the side card, 740 meters. So test point number 4. Range test of the Baofeng radio. This time we are at test point number 5 with about 2,000 feet of distance. Should be still loud and clear. Test point number 5, 2,000 feet of distance. Test point number 5. Range check. This time test point number 6 with about 2,300 feet or 700 meters if you're using the metric system. And guys, usually the quality starts to deteriorate at some point, but yeah, pretty overcast day today, so let's go a little bit further and see how this performs. Range test guys, test point number 7, and we reached 2,600 feet, or I believe half a mile. And yeah guys, test point number 7 should be still audible. Test point number 7, half a mile. Range test of the Baofeng radio. Test point number 9, about 3/4 of a mile, and usually the signal quality starts to deteriorate somewhat here. Test point number 9 with 3/4 of a mile or 3,900 feet of distance.
Awesome guys, this concludes the review of the Baofeng BF-88e PMR 446 radios, and as you have seen, the range doesn't seem as high as I'm used to getting with other radios. Quickly looking at my notes that I took, so the furthest I got was 3/4 of a mile, which isn't really what I'm used to, and test point 10 and 11, so when I was around a mile you basically couldn't hear anything anymore. Partially this is probably due to the low output power of PMR 446, and maybe the antenna is not as good as with the old radios. Like I told you, the ham radio, people who have the ham radio license, the old model, you could switch out the antenna against like one with a little bit more gain. But since the PMR 446 requires that the antenna is fixed, you can't do this anymore. So a little bit disappointing, but also somewhat to be expected, since the 0.5 watt output power isn't really a lot. And guys, we have springtime coming around, so the trees finally start to get green outside, so that could also contribute to that the signal has more obstructions it has to travel to. But in the past, I usually, if you watch some of my other videos, especially for example like the Motorola Hunter or some of the recent videos that I made, I can show this to you here on my channel page in the radio section. You can find a lot of other comparisons, and usually I got, even until my last test point, I got a fairly, let's put it that way, I could still listen to it clearly, whereas the Baofeng right now didn't do that. But guys, before I digress any further, you can all see that on my channel. Keep in mind you have USB charging cradles, so please make sure that you have like a USB charger there if you decide to get radios that have the USB charging cradle. Some radios, they have the power plug, others don't. It really depends on your model. And what I'm also thinking what I can do is maybe make a programming tutorial to show you how to program these radios with the USB cable. That might be also interesting to see. But again, please don't copy it, because it's not allowed in all countries. So please be aware of your local laws and regulations. But nonetheless, it's maybe interesting to see what the software settings allow you to do inside one of these radios. Guys, awesome for tuning in. This concludes this review and range test of the Baofeng radios. I see you as a subscriber on my channel and in the next video. Awesome, take care. And because you just watched the review of the black Baofeng PMR radios, the European edition, you might also be interested in comparing it against, for example, these red Floreon FC200. And guys, always keep in mind that these radios are available in the PMR 446, which we use in Europe, or if you're in the United States, the FRS version. So I will link both in the description below. Awesome for tuning in. I see you as a subscriber on my channel and in the next video, and maybe even one of my online courses. Take care.